Hello, my friends. This is Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California. I was going to be in Washington, D.C. Now I can't decide whether I made Hetty and I made the right choice or the wrong choice. I'm kind of mixed on, oh God, I wish I was there too. God, it's a good thing I didn't go. But this is just the beginning, by the way. So at some point we will all be in this situation. I don't care what state you live in or what city you live in, that this is going to not get better. And that is not to scare you or anything like that. I'm just want you to be prepared as conservative Christians, Republicans, not all Republicans, some Republicans, because that's why we're in this problem. All right. We have a bunch of Republicans. Not only were we asleep, many Republicans, many conservative Christians, but we have more rhinos than I even thought. I thought maybe we had a few rhinos, but it sounds like we have a great deal. Loeffler and Rand Paul and a number of other people, because of what happened today, they are not going forward with their plan to block the electoral votes. And what a bunch of wusses, right? I want to use another word, strongly want to use another word, but it's because of things like this that we have, where's my finger pointing? There we go. We have this going on. Now, this going on is completely different than when Antifa and BLM were doing it, right? We know we have Antifa and BLM in this crowd right now causing chaos. But unfortunately, like when a police officer's in a gun battle and another officer shoots, we have this reaction as other police officers quite often to also shoot, even though we don't see what the first guy saw, right? It's just a reaction to the other person shooting. And that's kind of what happened, I think, in Capitol Hill, is that you have very clearly, because we have lots of reports. I have people, friends of mine that are over there in Washington, D.C., that said there's no way that those were Trump supporters. They were Antifa dressed in Trump supporter clothing, wolves in sheep clothing that started. And then, of course, a bunch of real Trump supporters got sucked in and went in. We have the unfortunate situation, the female vet that got shot and killed. Probably doing the same thing, got caught up in the action of everything that was going on, because she clearly is a Trump supporter. Her family says, her husband says that she was a Trump supporter, and got pulled into the situation. Now, where she got shot, I've heard different stories from she got shot through a window, and others that she was shot inside the Capitol building of some sort. And, depending on what news source she's going to be in, if it's, the liberal left, the idiots that are on the Democratic side of things, or other people that may be telling the truth, where she got shot through a window and wasn't actually inside. Who knows? We're going to obviously figure that out later on. But my first point on this, and this is going to be a quick show, because I want to make sure and let you know that the great pastor Jack Hibbs is going to be speaking live from Washington, D.C. You're going to go to his Facebook page and do a search for Jack Hibbs, Hibbs, and look for that. He's going to be speaking live with a number of other people. I'm not sure how many other people, maybe 2 or 3 other people, and talking about what's going on and what he's in Washington, D.C. He's the pastor of my church in Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. And so he'll be speaking. So back to the issues here is that this is just the beginning, and this is just I'm only telling you that again to be prepared. We don't get fearful or scared, but we get prepared. So be prepared that this is going to be coming to Utah. Remember when I told you earlier, several months ago, when Antifa and BLM was going around and causing chaos in these other cities, and you're thinking, well, I live in Orange County, or I live in one of these other towns where we don't normally see this kind of thing. I don't live in Detroit. I don't live in Baltimore. I don't live in Portland. I don't live in New York. I don't live in Los Angeles, San Francisco. So this will never come into my town. And I was telling you, it's going to come to your town. And then sure enough, in this little CP town of Brea, Yorba Linda, the land of gracious living, which is their tagline for their city, Antifa BLM came to Yorba Linda, and I was in the middle of a scuffle where one of the leader of the BLM in the local area from Long Beach literally got in a car and ran over a number of patriots on that day. So you got to trust me. It might stand right here. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. I'm telling you that this is just the beginning. This is not going to be over, especially when they're planning on, I want to hear him speak. So I'm going to pause that. He's on the Charlie Kirk show. this is it's when they begin to we've heard they're going to start impeaching Donald Trump again. They're going to come after more conservatives. We see also the difference between how Antifa and BLM was approached when they were causing chaos. Literally, I hate the word literally. Why I keep using it. They were actually catching buildings on fire. They were actually looting buildings in stores and appliance stores and Costco's and Targets and all these stores. They were shooting conservatives in the head. They were attacking federal buildings. And when that was happening, a few things were happening. The number one, they weren't being stopped in many cases. In other cases, they were the police and the National Guard and President Trump were called racist. They were called all these other names because they were saying, hey, let's stop this. And the Democrats and the media were saying that the jackbooted Nazis were causing the chaos. But now tonight, when they believe that most of it, if not all of it, in their minds, they believe it's conservatives and Republicans and Trump supporters. Nobody cares that they were being shot at, that they were using flashbangs, that they were using tear gas, that they shot a woman in the head. Nobody cares. Nobody says anything. It's not that big of a deal. What? They deserve it because they're Trump supporters. But who cares about their rights? They got the police out there. They're beating people with sticks, but nobody cares. No, you don't hear in the media crying for them. You have nitwit Schumer on the floor of the Senate saying this is the day that will live in infamy when they attack the cat. He's crying like he's comparing their victims of the Japanese. There in the Capitol building, that he's compared it on the floor. He compared it to Pearl Harbor, that it's the day that live in infamy, where they shot a Trump supporter and nobody cares. Really? What it is a moron. They're all morons. Democrats are morons. I really don't care now at this point. I'm so disgusted, but we have to do it right. We still cannot play into their hands. We still have to have a plan. We still cannot act like Antifa. We cannot act like BLM. We can't act like dimwit Democrats. We just can't do it. Because we are better than that, but we can be mad, we can be angry, we can gather, we can do what it is we need to do to make sure that they hear our voice. But we want to be very careful that we don't cross that line and act in a way that is going to, again, no matter what, we're going to look poorly to the other side. But we have to be careful that we don't look like them, that we don't begin to loot, and nobody's looting so far. But we followed Antifa into that building and acted a little bit like them. And so we need to, if not a lot like them, and we need to make sure that we don't do that again. All right, let's see what we have here. Hey, Amy, nice to see you. Man, Amy, you're so good with this stuff and this information and following up in your detective work. I really appreciate having you as a part-time producer for the Andy Falco show. So thank you so much. Julie Boyce, glad you are not there. I wish there's probably 3/4 of me that wish I was there. A quarter of me that says, it's best that with my kids and everything that's going on with them having COVID that I didn't go. Not scared, just disgusted. I know. I'm disgusted too. Pence. Ugh, come on. I don't know what to say about these. Breaking: a former FBI agent on the ground at U.S. Capitol just texted me and confirmed that at least one busload of Antifa thugs infiltrated peaceful Trump demonstrators as part of a false Trump flag ops. Not verified, but I'm hearing that too, Dan. Dan is a good source. I'm telling you, if Dan's saying it, he's a good source of this information. I would say that it's more true than not. But understand that these are good sources. I have good sources also. I have other sources who have good sources, and I'm hearing the same thing. Maybe some of the pictures may be kind of off and that kind of stuff, but the information is still credible that Antifa came in there. And we see posts here in Yorba Linda prior to the action they took here. We knew that was going to be happening because we had people that were aware and infiltrated their system of speaking, and so we knew ahead of time that was going to happen. Us on the ground knew that it was going to happen. We're not stupid. We know what's happening. Unlike the left, who are stupid, we do know what's happening, and it's very obvious that much of what happened today, the violence, was caused by Antifa and BLM members. Hold on, I got to fix my TV here. I don't want to miss what's going on. I had to pause it. The hypocrisy is incredible. Yeah, it's not incredible any longer. I know what you're saying, Amy, so I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but it's I'm no longer incredibled by the hypocrisy of the media and the left. I mean, just the hearing Schumer just like getting on there and saying, "Oh, this is as bad as Pearl Harbor, and this will be a day that lives in infamy." And I nearly vomited. You know, earlier today, Amy, you and I were talking about how I was making sick to his stomach and giving me diarrhea. Yeah, now, not only diarrhea, but I'm also going to vomit to these idiots. They're just simply morons. Thank you. I've infected you. I'm glad Hetty isn't on right now listening to me, because I told her I tried to get better at this, but I'm just having a tough. Thank you for asking. My daughter is doing really well. We're all good. I didn't say this earlier, but I went ahead and got tested just to see. They said it's rare that a person that had COVID will get COVID again. I was coughing a little bit and some other stuff, and I thought, gosh darn it, I don't want to have COVID again. I don't want to be one of the 2 people in the United States that gets COVID after they've had COVID. I went and got tested the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and today my test came back negative. So I came back negative with COVID, but so she didn't give it to me. Someone live streaming during the chaos at the Capitol building said, "Gen X and Boomers unite." I kind of like that, considering that I'm a boomer. All right. And so this is the things. I mean, you got to be angry. You got to be angrier. I'm angrier than I was before all this started. I was angry before. You got Kelly Loeffler, who I'm glad she lost, because she was up there. Out of all the people, you'd think that, hey, I'm not coming back. She would have been one to say, yeah, we're going to challenge. Like, she personally was going to no, she got on and because of what happened. Nothing happened. I mean, they went into the Capitol building. Oh my gosh. Antifa and BLM did that all over the country. And not only that, they burned places down. They burned churches down. They caught buildings on fire. They looted. A bunch of people go into the Capitol building and they shoot one of us. And they are the ones who are feeling like they're the victim. This is the day that will go on will live on as in infamy. You're the ones who feel like, what? You're the ones who caused the chaos, you morons. You're the ones who are behind all this. And now you're shocked. You're shocked that you give Americans $600, yet you give another country for gender studies, whatever that was. You give more money to a theater than you give to the American people. You give more money to other countries than voters and the citizens of the United States. You give them $600. You idiot! You're better off giving them nothing. It was such crap. Just give us nothing. Don't put a bill together that shows how much you hate Americans, and then get up and feel like, oh, I was so threatened. We were hiding in our offices behind police that we hate. We hate the police, but we want them to protect us because we feel threatened. And so now you guys are idiots. Carol's one of those people on the ground over there in Washington, D.C. I was there. Any questions? Yes. Tell us more. What did you see? Did you see, I think you already said, let's see, let's go up here a little bit higher. And I'm happy to bring you on. If you want me to send you a link, Carol, I understand that they're jamming the phones out there. I was trying to bring on another friend of mine out there that was there, but you probably were a little bit more in the mix. If you want to come on, if you don't mind coming on, I'll send you a link. I have 30 minutes. But I want to be off by the time Jack Hibbs goes live, who is in Washington, D.C. Did you hear me breathe in right there? That's the thing that I'm feeling in my lungs when I breathe in. It catches just like that. So if my breathing sounds funny or my voice sounds funny, that's the reason I went and got tested yesterday. I thought my daughter gave me COVID again. But Carol, let me know if you are in a position to get that link and come on live and talk to us about what's going on out there. Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, it's just like. And so back to my tirade is that I was already angry as Hedia, my lovely partner in life was trying to calm me down yesterday. And I was already angry, and I was already at a place where I could not hold my tongue. I would send you, Carol, I would send you a link in Messenger, and then you would click on that link. You'd go into Safari on your phone if you have an iPhone, and then you just give permission for your mic and your camera to be used by Safari and StreamYard, and then I would bring you onto the screen. You need headphones. If you have the wireless headphones or the wired headphones, either one, you need to have those on. So that's how you would do that. But I would send you a link. I'll send you a link in Messenger, and if I see you pop it in the bottom, but give it a shot. It'd be great to hear from you. I'm going to send it to you in Messenger in just 1 second. I'll get back into my tirade as I'm clicking through Facebook, and then I have to find a message in Messenger, send it to Carol. I got another message from somebody in Messenger, another friend of mine. And while I'm waiting for Messenger to pop up, I got a few things going on here. So my internet, I'm guessing, may be struggling a little bit because I have that live stream that's running from YouTube, and I have it on my television on my Apple TV. So if it's struggling, that's because I got a bunch of stuff going on. All right. So Carol, got to bring up your Messenger. Nothing found. Wait a minute. Am I misspelling? Is it possible that I'm misspelling your name? No. Are we not? Oh, there it is. I don't know why it told me I had nobody under the name of Carol. What? So I'm putting the link. Carol, all you're going to do is click on that. It used to say, do you want to copy and paste and put it in Safari? It may not say that, or it may go now directly to Safari. So like I said, if I see you pop up underneath there, it would be great. I look like a hot mess. No headphones. Oh, well, I'm more than happy to give it a shot and see if we can make it work. They may have fixed that also. Though sometimes is a little bit of an echo if you don't have headphones on. So let's give it a shot. Let's just try if you want to try it. So back to my tirade, and I have another. Going to Messenger reminded me of a message I got from somebody. But we just have to be. You just have to understand that my rage comes from everything that's happened up to where we thought we were going to have a couple Republicans that were going to have some pelotas and actually stand up for the president and stand up for democracy, stand up for our Constitution, and they're just such wusses with a P, right? Just wusses with a P. And fudge. How? I mean, God, for sake. I mean, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed as a man? I mean, we have more women in power on the conservative side of things who have more pelotas than much of the men. And then we have a couple women that don't have. Kelly Loeffler, you would have thought that she would have helped. Again, so I'm so pissed. So we got to vote these people out. We got to vote all the Republicans out that aren't doing their job. We have to vote all the Democrats, every one of the Democrats. We can't have any We can't leave one Democrat standing. We just cannot do it. They're just stupid. Which brings me to a message I got that because one of my posts, talked about Joe Biden and something he was doing. He was dumb. Again, he was dumb before he had dementia. And I said, and we all know that, right? He ran for president twice before, and he got booted because he plagiarized both times. You would think you would have learned the first time not getting the nod for president when he plagiarized something the first time. But no, the second time he plagiarizes something again. Not going to work. Okay, nice. Thank you, Carol, for even giving it a shot. I'm a hot mess too, but I'm on anyway. And so I said, and it's unbelievable that any idiot would have voted for him at all. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, that any idiot, whoever voted for Biden is an idiot. The guy clearly has dementia. The guy clearly has a cognitive decline. He can't make it through a sentence even when it's on a teleprompter, Right. I have intelligence from people that are really close to him in some capacity who said every day is a question whether he is going to be able to make it out the door. That if it's not written down, then he doesn't know what to say, and everything is written for him because he can't put two sentences together. And so any tweet you see from Biden, any message you see from Biden, anything you see from Biden is not from him. He does not have the ability to put together a sentence. And this is from the inside. And these are from people that, may not always be conservative. They're just saying, and you know that. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to know that the only reason you didn't see him doing any interviews is because he can't do an interview. They can't allow him to do an interview. I go, what about when he gives speeches? He's reading from a teleprompter and he's been practiced and practiced and practiced. That's the one thing that he's done his entire career is that thing of reading teleprompters, reading off of a script. He's done it forever. When you've done something forever, even in a diminished capacity, you can still stumble through it. And we know that he even stumbles with that and can't get the words out straight and says the wrong thing. And you've noticed, though, as long as he's reading, the minute he gets off and goes to look for his wife, now he looks like he's lost, right? And he goes, this is my sister, and it's not his sister, it's his wife. And he goes, this is my wife, and that's not his wife, it's his sister. The moment he's off a script, the moment that he's done being handheld, he quickly goes. That's what my inside people are telling me is that it's shocking that any person on the planet voted for a man to run a country who cannot get through a sentence. And so, yes, if you voted for Biden, you're an idiot because you don't have to be on the inside. You can simply see when he talks. You're ignoring it. You're gleefully ignoring it because it's not because you want Biden to win. It's because you hate somebody else, which is even more stupid and more idiotic and more dumb. So, yes, you're an idiot if you voted for Biden. You're a bigger idiot if you only voted for Biden because you didn't like somebody else. He never gave us a policy. Anytime they ask him, well, I'm not going to give you what I'm going to do because then Donald Trump will use it against me. What? What kind of excuse is that? And then he has a running mate that hates him. The running mate called him a racist. She mentioned in some aspect that he was a sexual predator because she believed the allegations against him. And yet when she gets asked, oh, yeah, I'll be vice president. Yes, you're the best. Like, have you ever seen anybody like that? Have you ever worked with anybody like that? Oh, the boss is an idiot. The boss is a moron. And now the boss says, hey, we want to give you a higher position. Oh, the boss is fantastic. The boss is amazing. Wait a minute. 2 weeks ago, you were saying how much you hated the boss and what a dimwit the boss was and how moronic the boss was. And now the boss is the greatest in the world because now they offered you a different position with more pay. Now they're wonderful. Yeah, I've seen people like that. It's just really crazy. And that's what you have with Kamala Harris, right? She's just disingenuous. She's a liar. She's a moron. And neither one of them should be running McDonald's, much less the United States of America. And so coming with all that information, coming with all of that, I was already pissed off. And then seeing how they are treating our conservative friends like Carol, who's out there, and other people that are out there, is just really the tipping point for me that, Antifa BLM can literally, oh my gosh, I did it again. They can actually burn down a city, take over a portion of a city, and everybody's like cheering them on. The media cheers them on. The media supports them. They shoot a man in the head who has a cross on his head for Jesus Christ. Because he's a conservative Christian, he gets shot in the head and killed by Antifa or BLM. And well, it's his fault because he's a conservative. Nobody says boo, when that happens. But yet, the very first time a conservative shows any kind of like anger or pressure in entering the Capitol building, which is open to the public, by the way, and somebody gets shot, she deserved it. She's a conservative. No big deal. Who really cares? You got to be pissed. If you're not as a conservative or a Republican or whatever, if you're not pissed now, if you were pissed before, I am shocked. But if you're not pissed now, then there's a problem. There's a huge problem. Even if you're a Democrat, you should be pissed. If you're an independent, you should be pissed that this is happening to our country, that you cannot trust. Really, we knew before you couldn't trust the media, but right now, Now, can it be any clearer? Can it be any clearer? Really? When you look at the stimulus, stupid thing, whatever that was, I don't even know what it was. That's not a stimulus anything. It's stimulating my pissed off gene, whatever that looks like. Let me look at a couple of these things. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot, there's a lot of comments that went by. Sorry about that. So much fake news. We have Don says, have you noticed that Newsom is starting to lean a tad to the left lately? Or is that new? Oh, Newsmax. Sorry, Newsmax. You know what? I saw something that somebody said they're done with Newsmax now. So I don't know what happened to Newsmax, but yeah, I saw something. I didn't see whatever Newsmax said or did, but I did see somebody say, "Yeah, I'm done with Newsmax now." This was a stage. We were infiltrated. Absolutely, not going to work. Oh, that her joining me. I bet they threatened Loeffler's family. I wouldn't doubt it. And yes, to something I said about Amy Feltz. I just started watching it over the last couple of days. I did see some stuff where they could have pushed back, but didn't. Absolutely. No port a John. Metro construction shutdowns. Nice. Maybe replying to somebody else. Metro dumped us off in the hood versus Capitol South, forced to walk 8 blocks both ways through violent neighborhoods. Yeah, they don't care about your safety. They could care less. And the mayor, the mayor is a piece of crap herself, and she's got her hand in all this herself. Come on, man. She fell out of her stroller at a MLK rally at 2 months old. Oh, yeah. Freaking liar. I actually said the F word. What a lie. I mean, just a liar. I mean, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me of that, Don. Oh my gosh. What a dip. What a dip she is. She's just, and they're, oh, it's okay. She can lie about that. She takes a Martin Luther King story, his story, and takes it as her own. It's so crazy. Oh, I was pissed and I'm pissed off now. Good. I'm more pissed. I'm not sure that Hetty is going to be able to keep a lid on my tirades. I'm pissed and scared of what is happening. Yeah, I mean, you could be scared, but don't fear. We have God on our side. Our forefathers have to be shaking their head. I actually have to reply to a question. I'm not sure if it was Kathy who asked, or somebody mentioned something in another comment. Others, they're just in disgust. Absolutely. I received a scary video and Facebook messaged it to you to see if you could validate it. Oh, I'll take a look at that. Not sure what you did, but I'll take a look, Kathy. But yeah, somebody said, "Hey, we've been praying, but yet God's not answering our prayers." Again, you might have to go back to, if you have a chance, to go back to Hetty and I. We did a devotional this afternoon. We did I lost our feed there, so I'll drop that out. That God could be pissed. I know I would be if I was. I would say, "Hey, listen, I gave you this country, and this is what you're doing to it. And this is what you're passing. You're killing 364 babies a day in California." And somebody corrected me. I think it was Priscilla corrected me yesterday that it's 364 babies a day are being murdered in California a day, not a year, and only in California. It's just like, it's mind-boggling. And again, I know that people, well, because the mother's life was not. I would just, I don't know for sure, but I would say scientifically that couldn't be true. And there would be maybe 2 or 3 cases. And you know what, if there is a medical reason, if there's something, we surely can have some provisions that say, hey, when we have to decide between one life or another, and the baby's life doesn't look like it will be viable. I mean, a decision has to be made by the father. Maybe the woman's unconscious. And then these decisions could be made in that kind of life and death situation. But the majority of the 364 babies that are being killed every day are based off of a bad decision that was made a week earlier, a month earlier, 5 months earlier. What's deciding the life or death of a baby is whether the mother felt I made a mistake. And sure, some of the women may have been sexually abused and that kind of stuff, but we can have some provisions for that possibly, and do some fast tracking, some other remedy for something like that. And if you don't want to be reminded of what the baby, how the baby came about, then you look at adoption. But the large number, because I know a few women who have had abortions, all of their decisions were not based on whether their life was going to be taken because of giving birth to the baby, and it wasn't because of a sexual assault. It was because they made a bad decision or regretted the decision they made months earlier to have sex with somebody that they, at the time it seemed like it would have been okay, and they either didn't have a prophylactic available, or they just got so excited that they couldn't, the guy didn't pull out, whatever that is. That's not an excuse to kill a human life. And that's the majority. Again, of most of the women that I know that have had an abortion that either now regret it or just said, yeah, I did it, but I don't, that was a good choice. I'm like, it was because of the bad choice they made a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 9 months now because of late term abortions. And that is the decision that's going behind the murder of the baby. And so when we look at things like that and our prayers are not being answered, there's some aspect, and Hedy hit it on nail on the head. And I think it was Amy who brought up, one of I think it was either Revelations or Romans, that said, God, he can get pissed. And just like, dudes, I gave you so much to do good things with, and you've let me down. You've let me down. And here are the consequences of your bad decisions as a country, not as an individual, but as a country, as a group of people, as a group of people that went out into the desert. There's a group of people here in the United States, the decisions that are being made by our government, our politicians, that the conservative Christians weren't awake and allowed the devil to take over in many cases of our state, like Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Schumer. We allowed these devils to get into positions of power, and we did not stop them. We did nothing to stop them. We go, well, it's okay. They can't be that bad. They're only going to ruin their area. No, they're ruining the entire country, the entire United States of America. And our prayers are to asking for repentance and for something. At some point when you're done being pissed, God, can you please? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I am too new at this to give you too many answers. But Hedy and Amy, they had a couple very good discussions. So if you have an opportunity, go back to that daily devotional that we did earlier and look what we had to say about today's devotional, and to look at maybe some of the scripture that was referenced on that particular podcast. And again, Amy had a great Amy, if you would, can you throw that same, and I know if you did already, because usually you're pretty good at reading my mind. Can you put that same bit of scripture? And Carl had some good information about that too. But Amy, if you wouldn't mind, that would be awesome. And yes, they are devils. They're simply the devil. I mean, you see Cuomo in New York, who's another one. When they passed the late-term abortion law or legislation that allows for late-term abortion, they cheered and celebrated they celebrated the fact that now it's okay to kill a baby at the 9th month of giving birth to that baby. And in some cases, the baby could actually be on the way out, and they could still, as long as the baby was still attached by the umbilical cord, as I understand it, I could be wrong, as long as the baby's still attached, that's still within the late-term abortion window when they can make a decision whether to kill the baby or not. That is demonic, and it is satanic. And there's nothing that anybody can say to change that. Thank you, Hedy. Oh, Hedy is out. And that devotional talks about this. And so, and Hedy, I don't know if you're available to come on. We only have a couple minutes before Pastor Jack comes on, so it has to be fast. But you would speak much better at this. And then again, maybe I just want to direct you to that devotional, because the entire devotional almost talks about what it is that I'm speaking about. That, this comment that I got that, hey, Andy, we've been praying. We've been praying at our churches. Jack Hibbs has been praying. Everybody's been praying. And Jack has actually addressed this, that, hey, we have not been that good of people. Conservative Christians, Christian churches. You have a pastor who just got elected there in Georgia who says he is a pro-choice pastor. And God looks at that and go, wait, you're in charge of one of my churches. You're a pastor of one of my churches. And you're saying that you are a pro-choice pastor? No wonder God's pissed. No wonder he's pissed. Right? Because we have so many people, and there's so many churches, people in positions of power in churches that are saying, you know, we don't want to read that part of the Bible because it might upset somebody. We don't want to take that stance because then we won't be woke enough. And God's going, what are you talking about? For instance, I told there's a man and a woman. I don't know what you're talking about, these other things. This other Minchi or Ginchi, whatever, you know, the 50 other types of human being there are, and not men or women, genders, whatever these other genders are. God's going, I gave you 2 genders. That's it. Don't be changing my words in my house of worship. Do not change the Bible to fit this wokeness that you guys are talking about. I would be pissed too. I'm pissed now as it is. And I'm sure the veins are sticking out of my neck. Are you kidding me? Dan Bongino was on Hannity tonight, and he really let people have it along the same lines of what Carol is saying. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Dan Bongino's show today is, you got to watch it. I'm going to post it later on, that he just said, listen, you got to stop buying anything that's related to liberals, anything. Don't spend your money on anything related. He was saying, if you have a plumber, for instance, that comes and says, you know, Biden Harris on it, send them away. Do not do anything in relationship to anybody that has anything to do with liberalism. Just give them the same thing they do to us. Cancel them in every way possible. Every so often I'll be wearing something that says Trump, and they say, oh, I just can't stand him. If it's in a place, I told you I went to Staples the other day, and somebody had the person behind the desk had Staples is for BLM or something like that. And that was the last time I went into Staples. And so I'm right on board with what Dan Bongino says. I've canceled Netflix, and that makes some people unhappy in my house, but I canceled Netflix because I felt that they were too far left, and got rid of it. And so I give a nod to Dan Bongino, what he was saying today. He was on fire today. So I can't wait to watch that Hannity. I haven't watched Fox, but maybe once since the election, by the way, the election day, because they pissed me off too. You have an innie or an outie. That's it. Absolutely. Carol Texas Gibbons, you've got to come on with Andy tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. That would be good. I'm trying to get Leandra also, who's in Washington, D.C. And Hetty has a friend that's in Washington, D.C. Maybe we can get him on. It would be great to get a show of people that were actually in Washington, D.C. that can give us some answers from their perspective, because they were there. Oh, my gosh. All right, my friends. I'm going to have to get off here because I don't want to miss a word that Jack has to say. Don't forget to go to Jack Hibbs on Facebook. I'm pretty sure he's probably on YouTube too, but I know for sure he's on Facebook. And listen to what he has to say. I'm really interested in seeing what he has to say, because he's there in Washington, D.C. also. You mean the best-selling author, Governor Cuomo? Yeah. His heroism for COVID-19. And both Hedy and Amy put up Romans 1:18-31. Read that. That may explain a little bit about what we were talking about. Hedy also. But thank you. The 2 wonderful women in my life. Amy. Oh, I already had that one. All right, my friends. I'm sure I missed a couple up here. I missed a couple last time. I signed off a little bit too fast about what was going on last night. But here we go. Carol says, I'm pissed. Everyone today was peaceful. I have watched Antifa for months now. The Capitol building is impenetrable. All this was staged. I talked to the idiot Antifa in the video who are seen breaking in the window. Do you think, Carol, I think I have a couple more minutes. Hopefully you can answer this question. Do you think the woman who got shot was that the window that possibly she got shot through, or do you have any information on the woman that was shot from San Diego? Aunt Amy. Carol, yeah, if I don't know if you have any intel on that. Because in the beginning we heard it was a 17-year-old girl, and then finally we heard it's a veteran. She was in the Navy, I believe, for something like 14 years. A patriot, a Trump supporter, and shot and killed. Okay, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Carol, for letting me know. Yeah, we're over the next couple of days we're going to learn a lot more about that, And we're going to hear how she was an aggressor. We're going to hear how it's because of Trump that she got shot. We're going to hear everything but sorry from anybody, I'm guessing. And that she was shot because of who she associated her with. And nobody's going to say boo about how her life mattered. So sorry to come on and with such rage, but I'm just so pissed. I can't tell you. Hopefully, I don't think that Jack's going to make me feel that much better. Hey, but go to andyislive.com and get into my program if you want to learn how to do live streaming and create your own show. It's 3 different programs: basic, intermediate, and advanced, where I teach you through the power of video, step by step, how you get to a place where you can do one of these shows even more professional than the one that I'm doing. A lot of people are far more creative than I am and can do some really cool stuff. All right, my friends. Well, I'll see you on the Jack Hibbs broadcast. Yeah, did she exist? Absolutely. Oh, Air Force Vet. Thank you, Don, for correcting me. I knew it was in the Marines or the Army. I had a 50-50 chance, and I missed that one. All right, my friends. I love you guys, and thank you for all your support and being here and listen to my tirade. It's just I just want to prepare you that this is not going to get better. It's going to get worse, and it's going to come to a town near you. So be prepared. All right, my friends. Love you. Take care. I'll see you on Jack Hibbs.